When we think about the most important organs in our body, we usually jump right to the brain or the heart. But what if I told you one of the true unsung heroes is an organ we often just think of as a simple filter? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see how the kidneys are actually the master balancers of your entire system. All right, let's start with a quick question to put things in perspective. Every time your heart beats, it sends blood rushing through your body. But there's one organ that claims a full 20% of that blood flow for itself. 20%. That is a huge, huge share. Any guesses?
That's right, your kidneys. Those two little bean-shaped organs are processing a fifth of your blood supply at any given moment. Just that fact alone should tell you that their job is way more important than we give them credit for.
And that job goes way beyond just, making pee. This gets us to our first big idea, thinking of the kidney as the body's master regulator. Their whole purpose is to maintain this perfect internal balance, this equilibrium that keeps everything running smoothly. Scientists have a word for it, homeostasis. I mean, seriously, look at this job description. They're not just taking out the trash. They are total multitasking masters. They're controlling your water balance, regulating critical electrolytes like sodium and potassium, and they have a direct hand in managing your blood pressure. But wait, there's more. They also kickstart red blood cell production and even flip the switch to activate vitamin D for your bones. It's just an absolutely incredible list of responsibilities.
So how in the world do they do all of this? Well, to figure that out, we've got to go inside. Let's take a look inside the filtration factory and zoom in on the microscopic machinery that makes it all happen.
And the star of the show, the real workhorse of this factory, is a tiny structure called the nephron. You can think of it as the microscopic engine of the kidney. Every single drop of urine your body produces is carefully crafted right here, in these incredibly complex little units. And just to give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, it's staggering. Each one of your kidneys is packed with about 1 million of these nephrons. So that's 2 million tiny factories working together in perfect sync 24/7 to keep you alive. So how do these millions of nephrons actually do their thing? Well, it boils down to this really elegant 3-step process. First up is filtration. This is where a bunch of fluid and waste gets pushed out of the blood. But your body can't just throw everything away. So that brings us to step 2, reabsorption. This is absolutely critical. The nephron pulls all the good stuff, like vital water and ions, back into your bloodstream. And then finally, step 3, excretion. Whatever's left over, the excess stuff and the actual waste, gets sent on its way to the bladder as urine. Simple, right?
Okay, so now that we know how the factory works, let's connect the dots and see how this whole process is directly linked to one of the kidney's most important jobs, controlling your blood pressure.
If you want to understand how the kidneys control blood pressure, you just have to remember this one simple golden rule. Where sodium goes, water follows. It's that simple. By deciding how much sodium to keep or get rid of, the kidneys are directly controlling how much water is in your blood. And more water means more volume in your pipes, which means higher blood pressure. And they do this using this brilliant feedback loop called the RAS system. The best way to think about it is like your body's emergency alert system for blood pressure. So here's how it goes. When the kidneys sense that blood flow or pressure is getting a little too low, they sound the alarm by releasing a hormone called renin. Renin kicks off this chain reaction that ends up creating a super powerful substance that literally squeezes your blood vessels tighter. Then another hormone, aldosterone, gets the call and tells the kidneys, hey, hold on to sodium and water. And because water follows sodium, your blood volume goes up and voila, your blood pressure comes right back to normal. This system is incredible when it works. But what happens when this master regulator starts to have problems? In this next part, we're going to look at what happens when this really delicate balance gets all out of whack. So when the kidneys aren't working right, that perfect fluid balance is one of the first things to go haywire. And you can end up with two opposite problems. On one hand, you can get fluid overload or hypervolemia. The body just holds on to way too much water, which can cause high blood pressure, swelling, all sorts of issues. On the flip side, you can have a fluid deficit or hypovolemia, which leads to things like low blood pressure and serious dehydration. And this kind of imbalance can be a sign of a few different specific problems. For instance, you might have cystitis, which is just a common bladder infection. Or you could have nephrolithiasis. That's the fancy term for excruciatingly painful kidney stones. And then there's acute renal failure, which is a very sudden and dangerous shutdown of kidney function, something you'd notice right away from a huge drop in urine output.
So when the kidneys just can't keep up anymore, when they can't maintain that balance on their own, how do we step in? For our last section, let's look at the incredible medical technologies we've developed to help restore that balance.
The main way we intervene is with something called dialysis, and there are really two main types, and the big difference is where the cleaning happens. With hemodialysis, your blood is cleaned outside your body by an artificial kidney machine. But with peritoneal dialysis, the cleaning actually happens inside your body, using the lining of your own abdomen as a natural filter. Pretty cool, huh?
But here's the thing, dialysis is an amazing treatment, but it's not a cure. For that, the ultimate solution is a kidney transplant, replacing a failed kidney with a healthy one from a donor. The biggest hurdle, though, is preventing rejection. See, your body's immune system is designed to attack anything foreign, including a new organ. That's why transplant patients have to take special drugs for the rest of their lives to keep their immune system in check.
So from those 2 million tiny nephrons all the way to life-saving transplants, the story of the kidney is all about maintaining a delicate, crucial balance. And it's amazing that we found ways to step in when that balance is lost. But it does leave us with one big question for the future. What's next? What kind of innovations are on the horizon that might one day make kidney failure a thing of the past?